Have you ever thought about what you'd do if you had a heart attack, alone? No one around, just you and a few critical seconds. It's a scary thought, but it's also a real one. And that's why this video was created. With care, urgency, and a focus on older adults who live alone or spend time alone. Because here's the reality. When a heart attack strikes, every second counts. If there's no one there to help, your next move could be the difference between life and death. But don't worry, this isn't about fear. It's about power. It's about knowing exactly what to do in those first crucial moments. We're going to walk you through 5 clear, potentially life-saving actions. Some are surprisingly simple. You don't need to be strong, fast, or trained. You just need to be prepared. If you're between 60 and 80, living on your own, or even just alone sometimes, this might be one of the most important things you hear all year. It's not about panic. It's about preparation, about staying in control when everything feels out of control. Stick with me to the end, because the final tip is something almost no one talks about, and it could buy you the minutes you need to survive. Step 1. Spotting the first sign. Heart attacks don't usually start with drama, not like in the movies. For many older adults, the first sign is subtle, easy to overlook. It might feel like pressure in the chest. Not sharp pain, but a squeezing or fullness you can mistake for indigestion. That's your warning. And ignoring it is dangerous. Why do so many seniors brush it off? Familiarity. As we age, we get used to everyday aches. Stiff joints, muscle twinges, fatigue. So, when a strange pressure shows up or your arm feels numb, you might think it's arthritis or just overexertion. But those could be signs your heart isn't getting enough oxygen. Your body is trying to tell you something. Another reason? Denial. No one wants to admit something serious might be happening, especially when they're alone. It's tempting to lie down and hope it passes, but that's the worst thing you can do. Lying flat can actually reduce circulation and put even more stress on your heart. Those first few minutes are when damage begins. Time is the enemy. So, what should you do if you feel chest pressure, shortness of breath, nausea, cold sweats? Anything unusual? Treat it like an emergency. Sit down. Stay calm. Breathe slowly and deeply. This helps lower your heart rate and gives your body a chance to stabilize. Panic is natural, but you must resist it. Too many people wait, like Gregory, 75, who felt pain in his jaw and extreme fatigue one afternoon. He decided to lie down and take a nap. That nap nearly killed him. Luckily, his neighbor checked in 2 hours later and called for help. He survived, but with more heart damage than if he'd acted immediately. The point? Early signs are often quiet, but serious. When in doubt, treat it like it is. You can always be wrong in the safe direction, but waiting can cost you everything. Recognizing and responding to that first signal is your best shot at survival, and what allows you to take the next steps we'll talk about. Step 2. Coughing to stay conscious. This may sound odd, but coughing, yes, coughing, can actually help during a heart attack when you're alone. Not a small, polite cough. We're talking about strong, deep, repeated coughing. The kind that comes from your gut and shakes your chest. Why does this help? When your heart is under attack, its rhythm can become unstable, racing, slowing down, or even stopping briefly. That sudden change is why people often collapse in the first seconds. But deep coughing helps in 2 key ways. It creates pressure in the chest, which helps keep blood flowing, and it also keeps you alert. It's not a cure, but it can buy you time. Time to call for help, time for emergency services to arrive, time to stay alive. You're essentially giving your heart a manual assist. When you force your chest muscles to contract, by coughing hard, for example, you help push blood through your heart and up to your brain. It won't stop a heart attack, but it might keep you awake and alert long enough to call for help or reach safety. Those first 10, 20, or 30 seconds can mean the difference between collapsing alone and staying conscious until emergency responders arrive. I remember reading about a 69-year-old woman named Layla. She lived alone. One night, she suddenly felt dizzy and broke out in a heavy sweat. She remembered a tip from a senior health class. If you feel faint and think it might be a heart attack, cough hard. So she did, between breaths. She kept forcing out strong coughs. It was just enough to stay awake, call 911, and unlock her front door. A paramedic later told her that her quick action likely saved her life. Why does it work? Because coughing increases pressure in the chest, which can help maintain circulation and oxygen flow, even if your heart is fluttering or not pumping properly. It's not a cure. It won't fix the heart, but it might buy you just enough time to survive. Think of it as your body's emergency backup pump. Here's the problem. Most people don't know this. And even those who do often forget in the moment, because panic takes over. That's why it's crucial to rehearse it in your mind now. If you ever feel sudden chest tightness, lightheadedness, or a sense that something's very wrong, start coughing immediately. Deep, strong, steady coughs, like you're trying to force something out of your lungs. Keep going until you can call for help or breathe better. If you're alone, every second counts. Unlocking your door could save your life. It sounds so simple, but when you're having a heart attack and you're alone, unlocking your front door might be the one action that lets help reach you in time. Here's why. If paramedics arrive and your door is locked, they may have to wait for backup or force entry. That delay, just 2 or 3 minutes, can be the difference between life and death. And if you're unconscious by the time they get there, you can't let them in. I once heard about a 73-year-old man named George. One morning, while making coffee, he felt crushing pressure in his chest. He recognized the symptoms and called 911 immediately. Before collapsing, he managed to unlock his front door. That small action let paramedics get to him without delay. One later told him, that door being open may have saved your life. Here's the reality. When you're in distress, your brain narrows its focus. You're not thinking clearly. You're trying to survive. That's why unlocking the door needs to be part of your mental checklist, right alongside calling 911 and chewing aspirin. And better yet, prepare ahead of time. Keep a spare key in a lockbox and share the code with a trusted friend or neighbor. If you have a smart lock, make sure someone can access it remotely. This is especially important if you live alone or care for someone who does. It's not paranoia, it's smart planning. A locked door shouldn't be what stands between you and the help you need. Chew aspirin, not swallow it. If you ever feel chest pain and suspect a heart attack, there's one simple action that could keep you alive. Chew an aspirin immediately. Here's why it matters. A heart attack is usually caused by a clot blocking blood flow to the heart. Aspirin helps thin the blood and slow clotting, which can help keep blood moving. But the key is chewing, not swallowing. Chewing gets it into your bloodstream faster, sometimes in as little as 5 minutes. But a lot of people make 2 mistakes. 1, they don't know where their aspirin is. 2, they don't have the right kind. What you want is plain, uncoated aspirin, not Tylenol, not a coated tablet, and definitely not a supplement. A 325 milligrams tablet is ideal, and it shouldn't be buried in the back of the bathroom cabinet. Keep it somewhere easy to reach, on your nightstand, in your kitchen drawer, or in your bag. To recap, 1, start strong coughing if you feel faint or chest pain hits you suddenly. 2, unlock your door. Let help reach you faster. 3, chew aspirin as soon as you suspect a heart attack. These are simple, practical actions anyone can take. But in an emergency, you won't have time to think them through. You have to be ready. Rehearse them. Share them with someone you love. And remember, being prepared isn't fear. It's power. Keep aspirin where you can reach it instantly. Even better than just having aspirin in your home, keep it where you can grab it in seconds. Your wallet, your nightstand, even taped under your kitchen table. Sound extreme? Maybe. But if you're alone and every second counts, the last thing you want is to be digging through drawers while your heart is in trouble. I once heard a story about a woman named Ella, age 77. She lived alone and one morning woke up with a heavy, squeezing feeling in her chest. But she didn't panic. She called 911, then remembered a piece of advice from her doctor: chew an aspirin. She kept a tablet in a small pouch on her fridge, just in case. By the time paramedics arrived, her symptoms hadn't gotten worse. At the hospital, doctors confirmed that the aspirin likely reduced the damage. She went home 2 days later, smiling and back in her garden. The truth is, many of us underestimate something as simple as aspirin. We think it's too old school or too basic to really matter. But in a crisis, simple is what saves. You don't need fancy gadgets or medical training, just calm thinking and preparation. And if you're already taking a daily low-dose aspirin, still keep an extra tablet handy. That emergency dose, chewed, not swallowed, can provide additional protection during an actual heart attack. Just remember, if your doctor has told you not to take aspirin for any reason, follow their advice. But if it's safe for you, that one small tablet could be the most important 5-cent investment you ever make. Loosen tight clothing to help your body breathe. When signs of a heart attack hit, tight chest, shortness of breath, heavy pressure, your first instinct might be to panic or freeze. But one of the quickest and most effective things you can do is surprisingly simple. Loosen your clothing. It may not sound like much, but when your body is under stress, anything that restricts your breathing can make it worse. Tight collars, belts, and waistbands can compress your chest, reduce oxygen flow, and raise anxiety. If this happens to you, unbutton your shirt collar. Loosen your tie or scarf, if you're wearing one. Open the top buttons of your blouse or polo. Remove or loosen your belt. Sit up straight, preferably in a way that allows your chest to expand freely. The goal is to reduce pressure and let your lungs take in as much air as possible. Let me share a quick story. Robinson, 81, a retired veteran in Ohio, was watching the evening news when he suddenly felt crushing pressure in his chest and broke into a sweat. He called 911 immediately. Then he remembered what his cardiac rehab nurse had told him. Loosen everything. So he did. Shoes off, belt undone, shirt open. He sat upright with his arms resting by his sides. He said he could breathe easier almost immediately. When EMTs arrived, his oxygen levels were stable, and he was calm and alert. That calm helped the paramedics act quickly and efficiently. This isn't just about comfort. It's about oxygen, blood flow, and staying calm. When we're tense and constricted, we breathe shallowly. That stresses the heart even more. But by removing physical pressure, your body has a better chance to fight back naturally. And here's the best part. It costs nothing. No pills. No devices. Just awareness. So think ahead. Do you often wear clothes that are tight around your chest or waist? Could they make it harder to breathe during a crisis? If you live alone, choose clothes that give you freedom to move and breathe. Keep your environment cool and comfortable. These tiny adjustments can make a world of difference if trouble ever knocks at your door. Final thoughts. You're not powerless. You're prepared. If you made it to the end, that says something powerful about you. You take your health seriously. You're not here to be scared. You're here to be informed, to take action, and protect yourself and those you love. Yes, facing a heart attack alone is terrifying. But now, you're not facing it unprepared. You've learned real, practical steps that can make a life or death difference in the first 10 seconds. Stay calm. Call for help. Cough forcefully if you're fainting. Chew an aspirin. Loosen tight clothing. Unlock the door. And beyond that, you've learned why preparation matters. These aren't just tips. They're tools. Tools that tell your body and mind, I'm ready. If you care for an aging parent, live alone, or simply want to take better care of your health, these steps aren't just useful. They're essential. So what now? Share this. If you have a friend, neighbor, or a loved one who might benefit, send it their way. You could be giving them a second chance at life. And remember, being prepared isn't about living in fear. It's about living with confidence. You've earned the right to feel strong and capable. Take care of your heart, not just when something goes wrong, but every single day. Eat nourishing food. Move your body. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. And when you're alone, don't let fear take the wheel. Let wisdom lead. You've come this far for a reason. You want to live well, not just live long. That's a powerful choice. Honor it. If you found this helpful, leave a comment and let us know one thing you learned and how you'll use it. We love hearing from you. It helps guide the next video and encourages others too. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you never miss another moment that could save your life or someone else's. Thank you for being here. Until next time, stay safe, stay strong, and stay prepared.